art of tattooing has been around for thousands of years. In the beginning, Polynesian natives used this art form as a way to show leadership and dedication to their tribes. Tattoos were a symbol of endurance and dedication to their culture. When Western missionaries arrived to these countries in the 19th century, they were viewed as unholy and forced into decline.
It was a rebellious thing for me at first, because my first tattoo I was 15, and I totally skipped school with a fake ID and went and got it done.
I like body modifications, and I definitely like standing out. I don't like to look like everybody else.
I've always been a pretty artistic person, and I think that it's an excellent way for self-expression and appreciating art with meaning.
I have always really liked tattoos. Growing up, the music I listened to, like hip hop and punk rock, was all a lot of tattooed people, so kind of just grew up liking it.
Some of my tattoos are about music. Music's always been pretty close to my heart. Same with family, I have a couple tattoos about that.
I guess it's more for the look, maybe. I've always been interested in the look. All my brothers have tattoos, so I've always just been kind of like accepted it in my life as like a norm. They all mean something. I can all tell, every single tattoo I can tell you what it is. It's not just like I picked it out of a book or anything like that.
When my bird passed away, well, mine and my brother's bird, I don't know, I have this thing for birds, so I decided to get Blue Jay here because it was a blue budgie. I don't know, just playing off of it. And then I have one for my band as well. Just took our band's Hourglass logo, and when my grandpa passed away, I got a portrait of him tattooed.
I would say they all have pretty significant meaning. My entire chest piece is pretty much dedicated to my grandparents, who are a super huge part of my life, so I figured it was the best way to pay tribute to them. I have a memorial tattoo, half sleeve, which is still in progress. It's pretty hard to sit through a session when you have something going on you that means so much to you, and in a lot of ways, really, it's a big effort to make it through a whole session without being really hard on you.
I wouldn't say I regret them, but there are tattoos that I don't care about anymore. They were my first two tattoos, and they were just really boring. They were taking up good space. One of them was when I first became a Christian, I got WWJD tattooed on me, and I didn't realize that was like what every 11-year-old girl in youth group does, so that was gone.
This one is probably my regrettable one. It says Fuddy Color Money, and it's a bunch of money stacks. It was just like, it was a part of my high school, it was like my, I guess, crew that I rolled with, and at the time I thought it was a good idea when I was 18. This is part of the cover up. I had like money falling off my arm, so I got it covered with leaves.
I wouldn't say the tattoos were bad choices. I would just strongly advise to go to a good artist when you want to have a tattoo done. I feel like that's where I made my error, was going to somebody that wasn't to the full potential I wanted them to be, and ended up with something below my expectations.
So many people avoid getting tattoos because they're so scared about regretting it, and I feel like, granted, people live so many different ways, that's just no way to live. Like, if you want a tattoo, go get yourself a tattoo. You're not going to regret it, in my opinion. I don't know. I got my owl when I was 16. It means nothing, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever regret it.
My parents think I'm kind of an idiot for tattooing like my neck and my hands. And then when I was younger, I worked in retail, and I had like old ladies ask me like, "Oh, what are you gonna do when you're older?" That kind of stuff. They thought that it was dumb, but most people are okay with it.
My grandma doesn't love tattoos, and my dad hates tattoos. Like, my dad hates the fact that I have tattoos.
I can never show my grandmother this. My grandma doesn't know I have tattoos. So I always hide them. And I always want to be able to hide. I'll never do hands or neck or anything like that, or face, even though I want a face tattoo, but I will never.
My parents were a little off about them at first, and now I've taken both of them to get tattoos.
For people who are thinking of getting them in like more obvious spots that are maybe less socially acceptable, like your neck and your hands, I call them career killers, because they will limit like what kind of professions you can go into. I'm fortunate, like I'm a blue collar like factory worker, so it doesn't really impact me. But I know like as much as things are changing for tattoos, there's still certain places that kind of get people to look twice and think it's kind of weird or scary or something.
I think when you have like a great artist, it makes the experience a lot more enjoyable and calming, and you kind of have to work with your artist and find that common ground where your art's going to look good and still have the meaning that you want it to.
I've been a body piercer for going on 18 years now, so we've owned the shop for 15. People they're a little bit more comfortable to approach a tattoo shop, where before it was kind of maybe a taboo zone. A lot of people didn't dare to go into a shop environment.
We've always been really careful about who works here. We try and obviously like kind of feel them out, see what quality of work they're producing.
Everybody here is really, really versatile, so I think they can all do a lot of different things, but definitely each one has their own thing that they prefer to do. So, and they're all unique, which is really neat. You know, I don't think it's wise to have a shop of everyone who just does like old school or everyone who just does tribal, right? So it's good to have sort of somebody specializing in each of the different sort of stylistic areas.
I went to school for illustration when I got out, and I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. So I was renting a studio downtown, and Andrew found my studio, my work, and asked if I wanted to get into tattooing. At the time I had one tattoo, so I wasn't really sure, and then he kind of showed me the industry, and I worked counter, and then I started tattooing. It's not that it's just like a 9-to-5 job, but it is a career that you have to take seriously. So from the outside, it always seemed like it was like guys in bands and rock stars and bikers and whatever. And then when you're in it, I don't know, it's you have certain things you have to get done, and if you don't get them done, then you don't make money, and then you won't have a career. So it's a bit different being inside. It's way more serious. It's still fun, but yeah, I don't know. I don't tattoo a lot of rock stars. We get you to come in to do a consultation first. You go over what you want done, where it's going. Sometimes they'll bring in reference for kind of the idea they're looking for. If it's a sleeve, you have to trace out the area. But for the most part, you have to have like really good communication skills when they come in, because you have to find out, you have to get a sense of exactly what they're looking for. You drop a stencil, so that's what these are. These are all just sketches for tattoos, and then you drop like a line work stencil. Then they come in and you tattoo it.
I don't think I'm part of a culture of people. I think I just believe strongly that self-expression is important, whether it's through tattoos or the way you cut your hair or the way you dress. I think it's awesome to see that people are getting more tattooed and it's becoming more accepted in the workplace and in general, but I don't necessarily think it's a culture in itself. I think it's just great to see people expressing themselves more than they did ever before.